Everyone, welcome back. Another reality TV season down. It means another review here on the channel. So, something that's been a constant here on Zach Archer TV is whenever I watch a season of reality TV, I'll review it. And at the very least, new reality TV, because I probably won't do it for if I'm like watching an old season of a show that has already been out for years. I probably won't do a video for that. But so far, all the new reality shows, I like to drop a video talking about each one. And recently, my brother, my mother, and we binge watched the entirety of Squid Game: The Challenge Season 2 all in one day. That's right. Just in a couple sittings, essentially, 9 episodes flew by. All right, and that's a credit to the show right there, because we didn't originally think that was going to happen. We never watched that much TV at once, obviously. So that's a credit to the show that it was that engaging. And especially coming off of Squid Game: The Challenge Season 1, which I did enjoy, this one was the next level, I think. I think they really improved upon almost every aspect of the first season. And the worst thing about this show is the name. I still think Squid Game: The Challenge is such an annoying name for a show, but I get that you can't just call it Squid Game. So I don't know. I wish there was a snappier title though that would work. But yeah, highly recommend this. Obviously, if you watch Squid Game, the show, the scripted show, you'll get some added appreciation from this because they bring games from that into this. But my brother is a testament to that. You don't have to watch the scripted show in order to enjoy this, because he's only seen the reality version so far and he's still enjoyed it. So it helps that obviously they add in a variety of games, and they add in games that weren't in the show. And now that we've finished the scripted show, in future seasons of Squid Game: The Challenge, they're probably gonna have to get more and more creative. So I'm interested to see how they do with that, because some of my favorite games are the ones that they took from the scripted show. In particular, Mingle, which was iconic in season. Shit, I'm drawing a blank now. I think it was season 2. I forget. Season 2 and 3 are basically extended versions of each other. But Mingle was an iconic game in there, and it transferred over into the reality version. Definitely was very effective. And like the glass bridge in the first season of Squid Game: The Challenge, that was very effective. Red light, green light, which carried over from that season to this season, and it did a fun little twist on it. That was cool. That's always effective. And then the little thing they do in the final rounds, which they brought back from the reality version, that was fun, where you have to put the box on someone's desk and you have to suss out who it was. And then the thing they did with the final five probably could have been fun if it weren't for the, sacrificial effort by Trinity. And also, Catch was a lot of fun too. That was a fun new game they added in the mix. So just big positive is a lot of the games that they added into this version were fun, both from the scripted version and original games. Like, really, there's not many I can complain about. Essentially, for me, there's so much out of your control when it comes to games like this. I would love, because it's already a slim chance you're going to win. I would like to have as much of it in the player's control as possible. So the worst game of the season, shuffleboard was just like, there was no inspiration there. It was literally just shuffleboard on the floor. That was something. But the first game that they did, I like it in concept because it's dramatic and it led to this like tense moment. But in practice, I would hate it. Like, as a player, that's awful, because you're picking one or two people to count however many seconds it was. 456 seconds was that what they did? You're picking one or two people to do that, and you're basically sitting there just crossing your fingers hoping to survive. And then one person was off by 10 seconds, a 10 seconds difference from the other team, and so that was it. Your game was over. Half the people cut out right there. That's the fun of red light, green light, was at least, you had some control over whether you got out or not, and it would still take out a lot of the people. So that's the biggest problem I have, is the beginning part. But in a reality show in general, you want to have the most problems with the beginning part, because that's the least, you have the least amount of stake in these people. And so, if they're more and more equitable and engaging as the season progresses, that's cool. But I just hope they do something more where players have more agency in the future seasons. I do want to talk briefly about red light, green light, because I think the way they did it here was a fun surprise, fun little twist where they surprised final three with red light, green light being their final game. And that was fun just as a moment, because it's like, wow, you never expected, just really flipped it on its head. And it's cool. It's like a fun final showdown type game. But really, we got the most ideal outcome for this when we easily could have had the worst. We got the ideal outcome because Mr. Poker Player tripped himself up when he had the lead. Otherwise, we could just be looking at a case where the most athletic guy wins in the end, and it was like against two women. And so that would be pretty lame, and that's likely what would have happened if he just didn't trip, if he just paced himself better. And I just think about other contestants that they put on the show that would have just been instantly like, oh, I have no shot here, such as number 100, who was iconic in this season, or any of the older contestants, really. It was just a purely physical game. Like, yeah, there's the mental component to, like, you have to stop yourself. But if you just stop, like, reasonably, the physical component will carry you, obviously. Like, you can, in however many seconds they give you to run, you can get much further distance than an old lady. And so that's why I don't like that game ultimately. Squid Game the Challenge Season 1. Look, that was a bad way to end it. Rock, paper, scissors over and over again. Rock, paper, scissors over and over again. Not only that, but then did the randomness of the keys. Like, that was so stupid. That was not a great way to end that season. But, and there's much more tense finish here, but we could have had the worst outcome possible because of it. And, like I said, if any of these underdogs made it to the end, they would have been toast just by the virtue of the game, even if the guy wasn't there, the young girl who ended up winning, she would have beaten, the old people, So they really need to workshop a really compelling final game. Maybe even have a component where you can split the prize pot, choose to split or take it all for yourself type of thing. There could be an element of that, but even if not, you could have a more compelling mental competition would probably be the best to end it on. What is really interesting to think about is that poker player who had won $6 million playing poker, he made it to the final 5 and then to the final 3. He was right there, and it's just crazy. Like Trinity's moment where he like sacrifices himself and he's like, he wants to lose. It's very dramatic. It's cool. It's powerful. That's good reality TV. I get that. But this really showcased exactly why you should never, ever do something like that, because he was literally like, I like all your stories and I want to see you guys go on. Meanwhile, right next to him, there's a guy with $6 million already in his bank account, and he easily could have sacrificed him there. And if he just didn't trip up in that final challenge, we have the winner being someone who didn't need the money, already had $6 million. So, yeah, that would have been a hard pill to swallow if he did that, when he's like, well, I have a feeling his story was a little better than the millionaires, but yeah, I don't know. It's very much like, yes, I get it, following your sword, seems like a good guy because of that, but like, you have a family too. So if you're out there competing, it's no longer just about you. And if you were concerned like these people need it more than me, like at least you can share the wealth with the people you love and the people around you, and not just be like, oh, I'll bow out in the final 5. And it's just crazy to me. The millionaire could have won the whole thing. So obviously they chose to cast him. It's not his fault. But and the millionaire guy, he did play hard, so I'll give him that. And he gave us some tense moments. But generally speaking, on reality TV, the people who will do what they need to do are the people that need the money. So generally speaking, I like to see more people who actually need the money on there than just like people who are doing it just for the title or whatever. Especially if it's such a substantial amount of money. If it was a game for $250,000, that kind of thing is not so much important at that point. But the gravity of giving away $4 million to someone, it would have been, wow, that would have been a tough finish for the season if you gave the person who won $6 million another $4 million. It's like, okay, all these intense emotional moments for what, right? But overall, I was really impressed with the season. A lot of really good, compelling moments. Really enjoyed it. Narratively, I think they did a lot better at editing the season. It's always tough with a game like this because you're gonna have people. Usually, the people you're watching early on and who are getting a lot of screen time probably aren't gonna be there in the end. And so it's a weird editing game that's very different than most reality shows where you start with 20 people. Like around 20 people, and it's easier to figure out how to edit that versus over 400 people. Some people are relevant only the first day, some people are relevant only the last day, and all this in between. So I don't envy them at all. There's a lot of, like, imagine the amount of footage, even on their like backstory, their little interviews they film for everybody too. There's so much they have to dig through. So kudos to them because they did do a pretty good job. Much better than the first season, I think. But yeah, that's it. Squid Game: The Challenge Season 2. Let me know what you thought if you watched it. It was really fun. I'm looking forward to future seasons. I think the concept of Squid Game and Squid Game: The Challenge kind of like, it's the antithesis to what the show is actually trying to say, the scripted show. The whole point is like it's exploitative of the lower class who are desperate and willing to do anything for money. Obviously, the key difference here is we're not actually killing them after they lose in this. So it's not, it takes games from there, but it's not in the same spirit. And so I'm fine separating that and saying that this is a compelling format for a reality show with a lot of fun games that you can't do on most other reality shows. And like, it's compelling stuff. There's compelling stuff here. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel for more on film, television, and reality TV here on the channel.